He's tried it all, changed teams and drivers, and is now contemplating a break from F1. This is, of course, the sad story of the Honey Badger. But if some of the greatest sportsmen have had breaks and come back stronger, why can't Daniel? Let's find out how and why Daniel will benefit from a break from F1. It's heartbreaking news to deliver, but it must be stated McLaren decided to terminate the Australian's contract, leaving him without an F1 place for the 2023 season. It was expected that the seasoned F1 pilot would be given another chance, but with the announcement that Pierre Gasly will take the empty Alpine seat, Ricciardo has admitted that he will not be on the grid in 2023. I was aware of the Gasly story, Ricciardo told Motorsport. He knew both sides had been conversing for a time and that they were quite interested in Pierre, according to him. Let's say he wasn't surprised. We attempted to negotiate our way around that and figure out what was next. But I believe the fact is that I will not be on the grid in 23. I believe it is currently simply preparing for 24. I believe there may be better opportunities then, so that's what all of this confirms, and that's where the focus is now. When asked if he would try his hand at a new racing challenge like NASCAR, Ricciardo stated unequivocally that his priority is F1. You have to give the man credit. Despite being passed over for a younger driver, he remains certain that F1 is his future. As he sees it, this era is like pressing the stop button for a few moments. That's the extent of his F1 career. It appears the full intention is for 24. And we all wish you the best, Daniel, but of course we've seen this before, not us wishing Daniel the best, but world winners taking a hiatus from F1 only to return later. Do you remember the one and only Iceman, Kimi Räikkönen? Of course, who wouldn't? He also took a break from Formula 1. He accomplished this. He left in 2009 and returned in 2012. Yes, you guessed it, he was the most recent driver to take a break till Daniel now. He departed Ferrari in 2009 to make room for Fernando Alonso's arrival at the Scuderia. During his hiatus, the Finn raced in the WRC and NASCAR before returning to F1 with Lotus in 2012, winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 2 years later, he returned to Ferrari to partner, of all people, with Fernando Alonso. But wait, he wasn't the only one. After being dismissed for publicly criticizing Ferrari after their unsuccessful 1991 season, Alain Prost took a vacation in 1992 before rejoining Williams the following year. The Frenchman's contract prevented his bitter rival Ayrton Senna from joining the newly dominant Williams team. Prost won his fourth world title with the team, but Senna was signed by Williams, forcing the Frenchman to retire. Speaking of controversy, this man's son is presently trapped in his own cul-de-sac, but that's a story for another day. Michael Schumacher is his name. Michael Schumacher put in one of the best performances of his career in what was supposed to be his final race, the 2006 Brazilian Grand Prix. Still, despite breaking practically every record in the sport, the German made a surprise comeback to F1 with Mercedes in 2010. However, Schumacher only managed one podium position in his 3-year comeback, struggling to adjust to the new Pirelli tyres and suffering from a lack of testing. Do you think that's all? Certainly not. Nigel Mansell, it seemed, enjoyed breaks as well. Nigel Mansell eventually won a world championship with Williams in 1992, but his relationship with the team soured when they signed Alain Prost for the 1993 season. Mansell, having left Ferrari for Williams because of his troubled relationship with the Frenchman, was his teammate. Instead, the Brit competed in the IndyCar series, where he made an immediate impression with a pole position and a victory in his debut. Mansell went on to win the IndyCar championship, making him the first driver to hold both the F1 and IndyCar titles simultaneously. Mansell had a short comeback with Williams after the 1994 IndyCar season, but the 40-year-old Briton could not match the pace of his teammate Damon Hill. But he did win the season finale in Australia. Mansell joined McLaren in 1995 but missed the start of the season because he couldn't fit in the vehicle. It foreshadowed things to come as he announced his retirement from F1 after only 2 races with no points, dissatisfied by his uncompetitive McLaren. On the other hand, sabbaticals don't appear to be negative because you know it's something familiar with every sport. It's normal if the strain sometimes becomes too great or you need a break. Come on, if the great Michael Jordan can do that, it's perfectly okay. Michael Jordan returned to the NBA floor with the Chicago Bulls just 9 days after announcing his retirement from baseball in 1995. From 1993 through 95, Jordan spent 21 months away from basketball, playing at the minor league baseball levels. The future Hall of Famer returned to the league for a second time on March 19th, 1995, 25 years ago. Jordan's written announcement the day before his homecoming stated, "I'm back." Jordan's number 23 jersey was retired nearly 5 months before his return, but when it came time to play again, the 14-time All-Star changed it for a number 45 jersey. The move symbolized the beginning of a new phase and reflected his baseball number and brother Larry's prep number. Jordan scored 19 points on 7 of 28, shooting with 6 assists and 6 rebounds in his first game back with the Bulls, a 7-point loss to the Pacers. After a sluggish start, he rapidly recovered, putting up his iconic double-nickel 55-point outburst against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden 4 games later. Jordan revitalized Chicago in the final 17 games of the regular season, averaging 26.9 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 6.9 assists. During that time, the Bulls finished 13-4, making the playoffs and reaching the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Orlando Magic. According to NBA fans, Jordan never wore number 45 again after that game. In Game 2, he switched back to number 23, reversing the number's initial retirement, and scored 38 points in Chicago's win. Jordan won 3 straight championships with the Bulls after winning 3 with the team before his baseball career. In early 1999, he announced his retirement from the NBA the second time, concluding his career with 6 championship wins and considered the greatest player ever to play the game. Jordan went on to become president of basketball operations for the Washington Wizards in 2000, but the desire to return to the floor reappeared after 3 seasons away. Jordan came out of retirement again at 38 to play for the Wizards. Unlike his return to Chicago, Jordan didn't have the same level of success in Washington. He averaged 22.9 points in 2001-2 and a career low 20 points in 2002-3, both seasons missing the playoffs. He retired from the league for the final time after a 15-year career. Despite a limited 2 seasons, Jordan's 1995 return was one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. His number 45 was short-lived, but it signaled the beginning of a new Jordan era and another Bulls three-peat in the following years. If a break worked for Michael Jordan, we're confident it can work for Ricciardo. The only problem is that Jordan was a legend before his break, smashing records and winning championships. On the other hand, Daniel Ricciardo isn't exactly a shining light, since the major reason he's taking a vacation is that nobody wants him, or at least nobody wants to lose on purpose. To have him on your team for the time being may well mean that. Knowing Daniel Ricciardo, you can trust him to make a very controversial statement. He said, "The truth is, I'm still engaged in this F1, and I think a bit of time off or out of the seat will do me good, so I will probably use that instead of jumping into something else and staying busy in a different category. I'll still pretty convincingly say that driving, won't happen anywhere else." Again and again, you have to commend Daniel Ricciardo's optimism. No one knows where it comes from, but his belief is extraordinary. And if he thinks that a break from F1 with drivers competing tooth and nail to defeat Max Verstappen next season will just accept him with open arms, and he's one very optimistic man. Well, time will tell. After his break, his return is going to be one eventful saga, and we're going to be here to witness it. What's your opinion on Daniel Ricciardo taking a break? Comment below.